Hey, you're about to listen to probably the best episode ever of Talking Shit, but before we do, of course, I got to hit you up for donations. If this is your first time listening, don't donate yet, but after you listen, you like the show, donate. Go to our website, jimandeddietalkshit.com. There's a you can get like t-shirts, posters, DVDs. They get sent to you. We autograph everything, and it's a better way of buying it. You're donating, you're helping the show, and so it's a good way to support the show. If you listen to it regularly and you like it, and you're just basically mooching off us and getting all this entertainment for free, go fuck yourself. Come on, give us some money, help us out. A lot of guys have been incredibly supportive, giving us $5, $10, $50, $100, $250, $500. Our $1,000 donors haven't done it yet. They keep talking a good game, but if you're going to donate $1,000, thank you. And for $5,000, we kill Jason. We will kill Jason for $5,000. Well, we already kill him mentally every night, but we will do it physically, and you guys can come to the party where we bury him. So donate, please, and check us out this week. I'll be, this week I won't be anywhere. I'm going to be home doing nothing, but you can see me on Showtime on the Green Room on the 18th, and Jim's going to be, where are you going to be?
See me, well, I'm also on Showtime playing all month, my special, and I'll be in Miami, and of course buy tickets to see me at Club Nokia in November.
Oh, and I'll be on that show.
Eddie will be on that show as well.
Jason will be there.
Jason will be there selling merchandise.
And he'll be in the Green Room drinking all our beer.
Booze.
Yeah. Oh,
spirits.
Booze. Oh, okay.
We go for the spirits in the Green Room.
All right. So thank you guys for the support. Keep going to our website. Go to our Facebook page and go to, just YouTube page. Do it all. Be supportive. Thank you very much. And now we've got a great episode with John Heffron. That's right, John Heffron, one of the past former winners of Last Comic Standing.
Two douchebags on a couch. One's an asshole, one's a grouch. And relentless, oh, their mouths. Jim and Eddie talk shit. Jim and Eddie talk shit. Jim and Eddie.
What do you call a black fag in a wheelchair? Kool-Aids.
Welcome to Talking Shit with Jim Jeffries and Eddie Ift. I'm Eddie Ift. I'm here. This is live from the Rape Cottage. Everybody is here. We're missing someone. Jesse's not here tonight, but we've got Jim and I are here. We've got a great guest. We've got John Heffron, an old friend of mine, comedian, winner of Last Comic Standing, tours all over the fucking world. We've got Ernie doing what he does. We don't know what he does. He just sits there and stares at us and fucking turns buttons. Ray acting like he does shit. Jason is unfortunately here. I don't know why I said unfortunately. Deep down, I really think you're okay. I don't love you. I don't love you. Lalit, I love you more than I love him, except that you let your dog piss on my rug last night, and that pissed me off. I was very angry about that. And then you walked off into the sunset with Jason afterwards, and you two have a weird fucking
I found the most tasteless joke.
Jim's still on the Truly Tasteless.
He can't stop reading that book.
I can't believe that in modern society this book has been turned into a Kindle version.
What's the joke?
Okay, why don't black women make good nuns?
Why?
They can't say superior after mother. That's pretty harsh.
All right, we did. Jim has discovered the Truly Tasteless Joke Book. We did on our last episode. Right now, though, we have a new thing. Before we get to our guest, John Heffron, we have a number that you can find. It's on our Facebook page. I don't know what the phone number is, but apparently a lot of guys called it. And
we should have listened to these.
We haven't listened to them. We're going to see if any of them are funny. We asked you to call in, and I'm sure you're going to just call us cunts a million times. But let's listen to these and see if they're funny.
Hey, Mike here from Australia. I'm just wondering, once I come on the show, how much extra do I have to pay to punch Jason in the face?
Okay, can we stop that? I'm going to bet that Mike may be of Greek persuasion. As someone who's been from Australia, every time they go, hey, it's me from Australia, mate. Just wondering if how much it would cost to punch Jason in the face. I'm thinking Mike drives...
Totally sick, bro.
He drives a pretty big fucking muscle car with a stereo pounding away, bouncing down the street.
And let me answer that question, Mike. It's $1,000 to come to the Rape Cottage. It's free to punch Jason.
It is free to punch Jason if you come down to the thing. But in saying that, there is one guy who's paying $1,000 who's meant to be coming next week. If he's listening, what's his name?
Mike
White.
Mike White, you're getting overexcited. Calm the fuck down. I don't want him to be disappointed Because he's there going, well, should I bring something? I can't wait to... No, you're just going to be sitting watching a show. I don't know how impressive you think this situation's going to get. When the song says 2 douchebags on a couch, that's really it. That's the whole show. I don't know what you're expecting to happen, but he's bringing his wife, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's talking about that.
He messaged me asking if it's a good idea to bring his wife or not.
Why? Then what did you
He's
write
like,
back?
is it safe? I said, Jim and Eddie don't have any boundaries. It's your call.
I think-
Is your wife cool? I was like, if your wife's cool like that, and he writes back, LOL, my wife's great. She married me. There'll be 3 of us in there. Mike, Jim, and Eddie being on the
All right,
crazy level.
Enough, Mike.
Right, you know what else? You know what else I like is when he said, "Can I bring my wife?" He wasn't talking about whether it'd be safe for his wife. He wants to fuck you, Lalit.
What?
That's why he was asking you. He didn't ask me about his wife, but he was trying to angle in that thing whether he could get a bit of the hairy magic.
I thought-
So let me tell you, it's $1,000 come to the house. It's free to punch
naive.
Jason, and it's also free to fuck Lalit. The number to call is 310-853-3879. That's 310-853-3879. Let's listen to another call.
Hi, Talking Shit. My name is Leanna. I have 2 questions. One, I'd like to know who on the show has a foreskin and who doesn't. Second, I want you to tell us about pet peeves or deal breakers when it comes to women or for the girls. I guess Lily.
All right.
No.
Okay. Well, we can
Foreskin.
We can answer that. I don't have a foreskin.
I don't have a foreskin.
Nope.
John Heffron, do you have a foreskin?
I don't know. and I got to tell you, I wish I was kidding that. You know, for my whole life, I've heard that story to the point where I'm like, what's the difference? Like, how do you, I know what happens.
Well, were you circumcised? Did your parents? You're American. You probably were circumcised.
Okay, then that means I don't.
Can you see the head of your cock at most times?
Yes, all the time.
You have
You
no
don't have to
foreskin.
pull down a turtleneck off
I
of
don't
it.
have to do that.
Have you ever seen one with a foreskin?
I've seen it in pornos, and I gotta say, not that into it. So I'll switch the.
Get me a
porn.
flaccid foreskin.
Yeah,
A flaccid.
it's pretty
penis,
creepy. It looks
penis
like
foreskin.
It looks like a turtle about to come out of its, like the turtle head coming out.
Yeah, you see it in a lot of Euro porn.
Yeah.
Like if you.
Well, most British guys still.
Yeah, apparently it's better.
There
'cause
we go.
you're-
There we go. Look at that one down the end. That looks like the one where he's got these balls tied up. That looks like my dad's cock. my dad still has his foreskin.
Okay, what's with the black band?
In fact, hang on.
The whole thing.
Hang on.
Yeah,
what
wait
the
a minute.
fuck is
What
that?
is that picture?
It didn't say anything about duct tape.
Yeah. Hang on. That is my dad's cock.
Yeah, what is it? He
No,
tagged
it's
you
not.
in the photo.
There's none of that Michael Jackson stuff on it. What is
So
that?
that's not foreskin.
What's that
is-
called?
What are you talking about?
The skin thing. Whatever.
Children's cum.
The thing you're talking about. What's that with the hand and the?
Vitiligo.
Yeah. Didn't that guy say it always starts on your
Okay,
cock?
let's hear another
that's
call. You
that's
just
true.
scared me, Jason.
Oh, you wanted pet peeves as well?
No,
What-
fuck the pet
Pet
peeves.
peeves are a girl with a foreskin.
John Heffron, pet peeves.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I would say.
That pretty much wraps it up. That's a good pun. I like that.
That and business guys who take off their shoes traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like dirty fingernails.
Hi, Jim, Eddie. If you guys were to switch bodies like Freaky Friday style, what would be the first thing you guys would do?
I'd take a shower.
Yeah, I'd cut Eddie's body up. Like Eddie's cock would just be all fucking in tatters. And then we'd switch back and I'd be like, my bad.
You'd be clean. I would have a cock shower. I don't think we're going to sell this movie to Disney.
I'd fuck a guy.
I'd eat Jason's asshole.
And then not brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I hope that answers your question, Jason. If you were to swap bodies with either of us, whose body and why, and what would you do with it?
I'd do yours and drive your car up a tree or something. Go crazy on the town. Have a nice fucking hot rod night. You know, Good times.
So
You could just steal his car.
You'd steal my body. You're thinking that my car knows my body. You're thinking,
Well, if I'm in your body, then I'm gonna be
Does he have Kit?
almost.
Retina tested.
And I like how you get it and then you commit suicide. That means I just have to remain in your body forever. The switch would never happen back.
Exactly. That's
Can you
what I
imagine
do.
if he switched into Jason's
If
body?
I switched into, I could make Jason's body work. It's only his personality that's weighing him down. Next call.
That's true. That's true. You're only 65 pounds overweight. That could come off in 3 years.
I'm enjoying these. These are simple questions.
Philly fucking cunts. I spent 2 hours on a fucking train trying to dial your fucking like, you cunts. Anyway, I hope this show does well. I'm about to donate some money for $100 Australian. So I hope fucking shit does well, bros. And I hope you take a big shit on Jason's chest. Thanks, bro.
I thought we had these numbers set out so that people could ask us questions.
Yeah.
Not requests that we do things. like imagine if every time someone called in like that, we had to do it.
And I
like,
think-
all right, well, I guess we're shitting on Jason's chest.
Big Philly steamer.
Big Philly steamer?
A Philly steamer.
Why do you call it that?
That's what it's called, isn't it? When you take a shit on someone's chest and isn't that called a Philly steamer?
That wasn't a dirty sound.
It's in that book. You pointed that page that it's like a dictionary of
You're
something.
on your own here.
No, it's a dictionary of like terms and stuff. Like you and your brother made one up. It was in it or something.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking? Yeah, this thing right here.
What's the Philly steamer say? No, it normally performed by homosexual men. The Philly steamer would be the act of two men defecating into a cylinder type apertures, forcing one's or another deprecation into the opposite party. That doesn't even make sense.
Number 3, taking a dump on your partner's chest.
Yeah,
What's number-
in Jason's defense, it does say the bit that's upsetting about this is why has Philadelphia been lumbered with this?
Yeah, well, here's
and
the
why
top.
does Jason know?
Here's what it says, top one, Philly steamer. One of the many bums in Philly who in the wintertime stretches him or herself out on one of the many metal grates in Center City with continuous streams of steam coming out of them in order to keep from freezing to death.
All right, good. Thanks for
I've
reading
seen
that.
that.
Now we're going to change this. Is this better or worse? Now read line 2.
That was really dumb. That was really fucking dumb. Whoever took the time. I wonder about people on the internet, how much time they have to write shit.
Oh, they got a lot.
But I mean, like in anything, in a forum,
I've seen
answering a question.
I've seen comments underneath like pornos. Like well, guys go, oh, I fuck her way better than that. Like, just be happy you're seeing porn. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna comment.
I hate the bit where they go at 2 minutes 48. What's that? What's with that bit of skin? Or she, like, who the fuck's pausing? And the thing is, then as soon as I read that, I'm like, I guess I have to see what happens at 2 minutes 48.
And I think I have a lot of time on my hands. I would never comment on something.
I don't
Not a
update
porn.
my web page.
yeah, you're gonna.
Let alone other people's. Like, I don't know how my Wikipedia page exists.
No.
I don't know where they get the information. Who gives a shit about me to even write it?
Somebody added to your Wikipedia page about Jason. Did you see it?
What was that?
They call him a hobo bum. No, they added something else. I don't know. Go to Jim's Wikipedia page and pull up.
Hobo scrounger, I think, is the word they used. Hobo.
What do you
scrounger.
prefer?
I don't want to be in the category.
There it is. There it is.
It's under his career.
It says he does a podcast twice a week with fellow comedian and friend Eddie Ifft. It is recorded from their home in LA and stars themselves along with their friend and fat hobo steak stealing scrounger Jason Auer and his best friend the hematoma.
I like how your hematoma has like a life of its own.
He fell. He jumped from the chair.
There's still a hematoma there.
Crossed
A little
the
bit.
carpet and landed on his arm to basically apologize for eating my steaks. And he had a hematoma like I would say half size. If you cut a tennis ball in half, that's how big it was on his arm. And it was there for how long?
I think it was bigger than that.
Until 4 weeks ago.
But how long did it last? Probably about 2 months.
It was there for a while, yeah.
Do they just go away and it just goes back in your system?
He had to go have it drained. No, he went to the hospital and they
Well,
drained
it wouldn't drain because my blood clotted too quickly or something.
because embalming fluid came out of his fucking hematoma.
Next one.
Well, that sucked. I thought writing it down would make it easier to say it on your voicemail, but apparently I'm too drunk to even do that. But my question still stands. If Jason believes that our perception that our perceptions form our realities, why is he so hesitant to do the glory hole challenge? And also, I was wondering what his thoughts on the Schrodinger's cat experiment was. Anyways, you can do that.
All right. The last call was too hard to hear, but the guy wanted to know if Jason's perception, what was it? Your perception shapes your reality.
Stop texting, Jason.
No, I'm trying to get the hematoma picture up.
All right, well, we're on something else
I'm
right
listening.
now. Listen, the guy asked, if your perception shapes your reality, why are you so afraid to do the glory hole challenge?
Don't want to perceive that. Don't want that in my reality.
Okay, and then his next question was something about some theory.
Schrodinger's cat, which is basically if you put a cat in a room with a bowl of food and the cat eats the food and the plate, there's a pressure plate under the bowl. The weight of the food going away makes the plate lift up, poisonous gas fills the room, kills the cat. You shut the door, both scenarios, the cat did or didn't eat the food, exists simultaneously until you actually observe that reality. It's quantum theory. And I actually believe that...
I don't understand that, because either the cat eats it or the cat doesn't eat it.
Right, and until you actually observe the event...
But why so elaborate? Why do we have to have a plate of food with
Did you just do a tree falls in the woods?
Yeah.
No, that was that's Schrodinger's theorem.
No,
that's how he wrote it out.
Why did you have to make it so complex when it was just a fucking tree falling in the woods? Does anyone hear it?
Yeah.
No, that's not. No, it's totally different than that.
Okay, but just you leave a baby on a table, it could crawl off the table or it could stay on the table. Why do we have to have a pressure plate and gas coming out of the ceiling? Why so much science is put into this theater?
But that's Schrodinger's theory. That's his theory. That's how he wrote it.
Are you friends with this guy? Because it sounds like something you would come up with.
Well, actually, all it is it's saying is that all time exists simultaneously and all degrees of probability have occurred. And until you observe that reality, all of them have existed until you choose the one that you see.
That's exactly the same as if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one here to hear it. It's exactly the same.
Okay. Except for the time...
No. The other big difference is the plate with food and gas coming out of the
cats.
A cat.
Now,
was there a door on the room to begin with?
Do guys who come up with theories like that, are they are they like comics where they'll go up to another going, hey, dude, I kind of do a thing about whether people observe it, if it really happened. And I know I do a tree thing and you're doing the cat. They're kind of similar.
Yeah, my bit's completely different. I got a dog in mine.
Mine's really highbrow.
No, I mean, they're kind of the same. I mean, mine.
Oh yeah, you had gas. Anyone can have the gas hand. I normally had spikes from.
I've been doing mine for 4 years.
Yeah,
I have a video of me telling people it.
So actually, Schrodinger is a.
Do these cunts make money? These people.
I think he got a Nobel Prize
for the cat gas theory.
No, he's a physicist. And
Jason, if there was a plate of my grass-fed steaks in the room, and you could go in and eat them, and if you ate them, the pressure would go down and it would gas the room. You would do it anyway.
Jason, because
you would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You'd fill your hunger and you'd kill yourself.
Jason, every time you go back to your house and I haven't heard from you for a day, there's always 2 thoughts: he's either killed himself or he's alive, and I never know. I don't know, and these things are going on simultaneously, and I'm all right with it.
You are the king of the telephone game, where you listen to something and then you tweak parts of it, and then you reiterate it to people and give them wrong information.
Radioactive. Read.
Is there gas?
Yes.
Poisonous gas.
Yes, and
I stand by Schroeder's a cunt.
And you know how this guy, whatever his name is, the Schrodinger or whatever, here's how he would bug me as a comic is if before he even got into this, he would go, anybody here have cats? And make the audience clap first before he actually even did the
And then he'd do something like this, he'd go,
where my cat?
He goes, yeah, you never know what those cats get up to, do you? I wonder what they do when we're not there.
Yeah. And then,
what's the deal with that?
By the way, I'm selling my Schroeder's cat theory at the end of the show. I'll be back there. Make sure you guys stop by. Even if you don't want to buy it, make sure you say hi. I'm not gonna,
Buy this T-shirt. It's got a picture of a cat that's dead on one side and alive on the other.
Ooh.
And it says, "I went and saw."
That's a good shirt idea, Jim. That's a great idea.
I went and saw Schroeder. It was a gas.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
That's great.
We'll be selling those shirts on our website,
jimandeddietalkshit.com. That's a great
Fine Southern
idea.
gentlemen, start.
I saw Schroeder, or
Would
did
you
I?
really want to have a?
I would wear
you want
that
a
shirt.
T-shirt with a cat that's alive in one and one's dead. Where would you put the live one? Where would you put the dead one?
I would make it so that it's like a hologram that flickers back and forth between the two.
Too expensive to sell. You're not going to make it.
Yeah,
cash.
you're not. Your profit margin's going to be.
You have a live one on the back and a one on the front, and then like
Schrodinger's a gas.
Yeah, Schrodinger's a gas.
You'd have. I like Ricky Schroeder's cat. That was terrible.
A little typo. It was close though.
That was dumb.
Yeah, but I like that.
It says, "Do you mean Ricky
quantum
Schroeder's cat when you type it?"
decoherence?
I love that. Next one.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Pierre. Big fan of the show, even though I've never donated. I got a kind of a question, a serious one, and I decided to ask my favorite comics on the show to help me out here. My question is, what's the point of hecklers, going to shows and fucking ruining the show and shit like that? I mean, if they don't have a sense of humor, why go to a comedy show in the first place and ruin it for everyone, right? I mean, and they're jokes that are great. They're just shit audience members that just want to fuck it up for everyone. Like, they feel like they're obligated to have an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Don't even answer it. Just move on. Don't waste time on it.
No. I want to deal with this. Stop it. The reason I hate this is because we all know that there is no purpose in having a heckler. Why the fuck are you asking and trying to lick our fucking assholes like we're going to go, yeah, right on, man, yeah. Why do people come to comedy? Why do people vandalize things? Why do people fucking just act like cunts in the street? The world is put up primarily by about 20 or 30% of the population of complete cunts. And that can answer about 1 million questions that you have about society.
I think the number's higher.
I know I was trying to be nice because I didn't want people tuning off.
Are those brand new?
What?
Your shoes?
No.
They're really clean. They look brand spanking new, dude.
I only wear these on stage, but I haven't really even been home yet today.
Where are you coming from?
I was in Columbus.
Oh,
Ohio?
Yep.
What's blue and creamy?
What?
Smurf cum.
Have you ever had the Smurf ice cream from the theme park? It's good.
You got to figure that book truly traces jokes. Every house had it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's dad mathematically was probably 28, 29, 30 when they got that book.
Right.
That's why you had a...
Yeah,
you know,
businessmen bought those back in the 70s and stuff.
Yeah, but you were probably right around 30 years old, 30, 35, and your kid was probably...
Jim got his
10.
at the right age.
I remember when I first got my hands on it, I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I think a kid brought it to school or was,
I didn't even I had a flashback when he pulled that thing out. I totally forgot. Like when I was a kid, we would go to Florida to see my family on vacation. And my grandparents lived in a trailer park down there. And my grandpa had those books. I would just read those things cover to cover.
I tell you what, my stand-up career's changed. Someone's got new material.
Yeah.
You have a whole new album.
Jim Jeffries, Truly Tasteless.
Yeah, you should
on
call your
BET.
And here's the unfortunate thing about that book. You could do those jokes, get laughs, and the audience doesn't care.
No.
Like, so you can sit and craft, and have, a really funny, this is a great, or do one of those, and they equally are, genius. Yep. Just genius.
Yeah, it's over. Those days, because there's just so much shit available on the internet, and there's so much parallel thought that everybody's gone, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Where were the old days of the Mencia Rogan fights? The good old days when you got called out or punched in the face.
What's 8 miles long and has the IQ of 40?
What?
The St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Ooh.
Getting into the political, topical.
So let's talk to John about Last Comic Standing, which you never did, Jim, did you? You're the only comic in America that did not do Last Comic Standing.
I tell you what, they had Last Comic Standing where they did the one around the world, where they where I think Matt Kirshen and Jim Tavaray and a few other British acts came over, and Paul Foote, I think, came over to do it. And so they had the auditions in London, and I went for a TV meeting in London or something like that, and I was walking down the street, and I walked past the Comedy Store, and I saw something was on during the day, and they were like, Jim Jeffries, right? And I said, yeah. And they go, come in and audition. This is how few people showed up.
Really?
They got people off the street to make that queue around the block of people going, we're all here for the last comic standing. They couldn't get one self-respecting British comic to do it.
No, but the guys that did it were pretty self-respecting.
No, but in the end, people got invited.
Well, that's how we did it. I didn't stand in line. You got an invite.
Yeah, I did. Well, my thing was that I actually shot the pilot for the show. Like even before season 1, it was me, Doug Stanhope, and some other dudes. And so season 1 happened, and I think it was popular, or it was like starting. And then they were going to do season 2, and I was at my now wife's house in Florida, flying up to Detroit, and there was an audition in Nashville. And they said, hey, do you want to do this? And I go, well, yeah, I think at that point I had like one Tonight Show and maybe a half-hour special. I go, yeah, I'll pop in, I'll get on one episode, and it'll be just the TV experience. Yeah. I think it was also trying to get like after health insurance. Like, so I was mathematically going, if I'm on it twice, I'll get...
Well, with AFTRA, with the union, the American Federation of TV and Radio Artists, you have to make so much money to get health insurance. So people do shit. Like, you'll see somebody on a shitty show, and why'd they do that? Yeah. Just to get your health insurance.
So I popped in, didn't wait in line, just went and I'll just go on, I'll perform. Hopefully I'll make it on that episode. And then it just kind of,
steamrolled.
Then I was on the entire time. It wasn't like some mathematical thing that it wasn't a show that I wanted to do or whatever, but,
I went to the...
Obviously, that would have changed your life, that completely, right?
It did. It was one of those things where, like, you don't believe how many comics do openly give me shit.
14 million people were watching it a night.
And there are always comics, though, that haven't been like, so they'll go, well, that, last comic made stars out of people. And I don't have an ego to the point where I go, do you want to talk about how much I accomplished as a comic 10 years before even last comic happened? Like they didn't realize I've done comedy since '88.
Yeah,
right. And so and did as much road as anyone could. Blah 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 blah.
No, I don't agree with the show personally, because when they made him go through, I don't know if they did it in your season, but when they made him do tasks like being...
No, I was the only season they switched it after ours, where we had to do really stupid shit.
Yeah,
like we did really like embarrassing.
I was on the year with you. And I remember I had lunch with you the day that I got kicked off.
We were at that barbecue place.
And we were all talking about quitting comedy. You, me, and DC.
Oh, that's what you asked. I'm sorry. Yeah, I met my wife, and she was living in Florida, and I had a couple TVs, but in my brain I was going, you know what, I'll just be a road guy for the rest of my life, and if I just make, I think I had some number in my head. Let's say if I just make $2,000 a week and work 2 or 3, like I had this and I was going to move to Florida. Like that, and we would have known what would have happened to me if I would have became like a Florida comic or what.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'll stop in and do it, and completely life-changing, and went from, who knows what would have happened but that was 14 million people. Then the hardest part got immediately afterwards, where suddenly I thought everybody saw everything I've ever done, so then you had to write a whole nother hour. Then I did a special, then that was gone, and then did another hour special, and then now it's definitely on the down low swing. You know what I mean?
Well, I try to write an hour a year, and it's fucking difficult, and I play a lot of the mark at the same time. I get a lot of grief from people going, oh, you did those jokes, and you're like, I'm working as fast as I can.
Yeah, they don't get it. To build an hour, like I've got to do it every year for Australia when I tour. They're like, we need an hour. Well, the only way you can build an hour when you're out, you have to do a lot of your old stuff and work in the new stuff while you're doing it till you finally have a whole bunch of new stuff.
It just changes slightly.
And
it's
to
like
be honest,
putting new parts on a car until eventually you have a new car.
And some people want to hear your jokes. Some people, like, I'll do bits where people go, you didn't do this. And, there's some bits I've probably been doing, I don't know, 15 years, but you know what? I like doing that. For whatever reason, me doing, it's not, I just enjoy that bit for whatever reason.
Jason has the same thing with his underwear.
My policy now is I retire a joke once it airs on television.
Yeah, that's when we did Last Comic, I did I think some of the winners prior or even a year or two, they could win the entire thing doing
the same 5 minutes.
Same 5 in like 3 sets. I don't. By the time
Like
I was
that-
off, because I also did season 3. They did a season 1
the
versus
best
season. So by the time it was all over, I did 22 6-minute TV sets, never repeating anything.
Jeez.
So that's like that many Tonight shows or whatever, where I was.
I spoke to a
constant.
comic who got into the final, whatever, and he might have been in like series 4 or something. And this is what he said. He said, by that stage, the show had gotten so cheap that they were going to perform in Vegas for some reason. And they flew them all into Vegas, and they were staying at the fucking Stratosphere down the road, but they made it look like they were staying in the Paris.
Oh, that's funny.
Like they drove him in, they drove him into the Paris, made him look like they were checking their bags and then going, Las Vegas, baby, woo! And then they got him back in the bus and drove him down to the Stratosphere.
Do you remember when they put us on the bus? Were you on the bus? They flew us in from LA to
Yeah,
New York.
I was on. Yeah,
and
with you.
they put us in that bus, and the cameras going around, and everybody was trying to be funny and out funny everyone. And I just sat in the front of the bus, and I was like,
Pablo Francisco was on.
I was
that
like,
thing,
I got to get
doing
the
a-
fuck up. Everyone was on that bus. That was the year everyone did it. Alonzo, but I was like, I have to get the fuck off the show. Being on a bus with 50 comics who are all trying to out funny each other.
And the hardest thing of that show, we had to do dumb stuff, like perform for kids and do stuff. And my personality is not the crazy guy.
Yeah, so that's what bothers me. I don't mind a competition. I wouldn't want to be in one myself, but I don't mind a competition. But I don't like the patronizing and the fucking making people act like idiots.
Yeah, and I'm really bad at that. I would, if we're at a party, if this was just a party, I would just be sitting like I am, not talking. You know what I mean? That's just my personality.
Yeah, me too.
And on the show, we had to, and I think I was the only season that we had to do this, where you had to say you were funnier than. Was the thing.
Yeah, I remember
And I
that.
would have like these panic attacks because I don't have that personality to go, I'm funnier than you. I'm funnier.
You are funnier than Jason. You are
Okay,
way
good.
much
Well,
funnier.
Jason, I would say. But so you'd have to look in the camera and you would have to go, I know I'm funnier than Kathleen Matt. You would have to say.
That's just Eric.
And the whole time you were just like, and then other guys did it well, whatever. But
Yeah, but you won.
But I was though, But then I switched it into
You must have done something right.
Doesn't that go kind of just against the code, though, of comedy to even shit talk like that to people, like publicly?
I'm funnier than Jason.
Yeah, I'm funnier than
But
you.
I'm not a comic.
But you say it all the time. Like comics say
Roy's
it all the
funnier
time.
than you.
He's not a comic.
Yeah, but he's funnier
Yeah,
than you.
but he's another non-comic.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Lalit's vagina's funnier than
funnier
you.
than you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanked
And
off a dog.
I didn't wank
You
off.
jerked off a dog on the
I
last.
did
If you go to
not.
YouTube, you can look on our YouTube channel. You can see Jason whacking off a
jerking
dog.
off a dog.
I didn't whack off a dog.
You touched his
Just
penis
because
enough
it's another
times.
person, you didn't make orgasm, didn't mean you didn't do it.
Yeah. Maybe the dog had to take a shit, and that's why I couldn't come. Yeah.
What if somebody was whacking somebody off and there was a plate that's censored with weight? Is that a soul in there?
Yeah.
Whack off
Schrodinger's
theory?
Spooge
And
syndrome.
if you shot the cum onto the plate goes down and then the gas comes out. There's a lot of fucking mechanisms involved.
Yeah.
in a thing.
It's very complicated.
He's really trying to do it in layman's terms there too. I think.
I never want to talk
But
about
he's
that again.
German. They lost World War II because of being over complex. So
No, they didn't. They lost World War II because they went into fucking Russia during the winter.
okay, they lost North Africa
That was
for
that was the
over-engineering.
least complex thing they could have done. That was actually the bottom of the complex list.
Well, it was okay. I take that back. North Africa.
Actual weapons and stuff, they were ahead of the British.
Jason,
Right, but the
Jason,
Panzers
wait a
couldn't
minute,
be-
wait a minute, Jason. Are you, with your 2 years of community college, going to try to explain how the Germans lost the war?
No,
right
I
now?
just know one thing about the Panzers.
I could beat you in this. I just saw Captain America. So
between the Panzer and the Sherman, the Sherman was a much easier vehicle to repair in the field, and Panzers, when they broke down, they pretty much just left them because they were over complex.
I only know that from Call of Duty 2. Was it Call of Duty 2? Yeah.
He probably does also, and he's trying to fake it.
What happens is-
So everything he does.
he hears just a vague comment.
Yeah.
You can like a vague. You can say something like, you'll have like the Nutella, and you'll be spreading it on some bread, and you'll be like, "Fucking hell, this bread, the Germans invented this," and then just say it flippantly, and then he'll repeat it, but with a backstory.
I often tell him lies to hear him repeat them to people, and I just laugh while he does it.
Yeah, it was French toast, and then the Germans took over. It was German toast for a little bit because the French gave it up, and then, but then they gave it back to them at the end of the war.
That's exactly.
After Americans.
Exactly.
So it was called German toast before it was French toast for
And
just
then-
a little
and
bit.
And then he'll fight you, like he'll argue with you about it, and you're like, "I'm the one that told you this."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that with guys in sports. I'm a big MMA fan, but like football, when you start to really get into it, I don't know anything. And sometimes I'll just go, it's not that good of a tight end, and watch people just go ape shit. I don't really know what I'm saying.
My brother's like that. My brother, and he's going to listen, he's going to hate me telling this, but my brother knows very little about sport. And I think he's like me. I'm the same. I desperately want to know about sport. I was never good at sport, but I like to talk about sport. And so my brother will be watching like cricket, and my brother's favourite player was Michael Bevan, right? It was just this guy who was sort of a mid-range cricketer, but for some reason my brother really liked him. I remember once being at a cricket game with my brother, and he yelled out, "Bring Bevo out. Oh, you can't fucking win without Bevan. Bring out Bevan." And my dad's like this. He's been retired for 5 years, right? Like my brother had that one guy in his head. You know what I mean? He thought, if I yell this out, everyone will know that. Like, it must have been pretty embarrassing.
That was me. I was a ski patrol for a year, and I had to take a paramedics test to become one. And the paramedics test was a group test, so you work with your group, and they put you in a situation where somebody's like been impaled with a pole or broken their thumb, or they need CPR, and they go, "Okay, here's your victim. What do you do?" And I didn't read anything, and I knew nothing, and I figured I could hide behind my group.
And he fucked it.
And so every time I
help, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh.
So I studied one thing, and that was the acromioclavicular joint, because I just found that word hard to say.
Study it.
So every time I would go into a situation, I'm assessing. Looks like I have an acromioclavicular joint. It's dislocated, and they'd be like, "Good word. Move on to station 2." And they'd be like, "He's breathing. He's not breathing. He doesn't have a pulse." And I'm like, "It's got to be the acromioclavicular joint." And they're like, "All right, Eddie, you know your shit."
So you cheated on saving people's lives.
Absolutely. One of the stations I walked into, the guy's holding a live wire, and they go, "Okay, here's your victim," and he's holding a live wire supposedly, and and I just pick it up and move it. They go, "You're dead. Lie on the ground." And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You're dead. You're dead. You just picked up a live wire."
There's a lot of people in that school that had to learn how to save that bloke and Eddie. He used to come in. "First of all, Eddie works here. Go on to the other guy."
No, but have you ever heard my worst story of ski patrolling?
I've never heard your best one.
I was.
What state was this?
It was in Seven Springs Mountain in Pennsylvania, and it was a little 1,000 vertical feet mountain. And I was never where I was supposed to be. And they had like walkie-talkies, and I pretend like I was there, but I was always off skiing. Like I just did it for free skiing. And one day, I see a guy wave me down, like "Help, help!" But I'm on a slope I'm not supposed to be. It's not in my territory.
Yoko Ono?
And I was like. That's funny. I go, "Fuck."
It's the only one I could think of so quick.
I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in the wrong place. They're going to catch me." And the guy's like really waved me like this guy's in trouble. So I ski down, and I see this guy in the woods. He's gone off the slope into the woods. And I'm like, "Fuck." So I take my skis off. I go down, and the guy's fucked. I can see blood. He's wearing yellow ski pants, and he's got blood all over him. It's like turning brown and everything all over. And it's all around where his cock is. And I'm like, "Fuck." And I can see.
Must have been that claptic bone.
No, he's got the acromioclavicular. But he's got a ski pole that's coming, or not a ski pole, a stick is coming out. And I'm like, "Well,
he was happy to see you.
I haven't seen the stick yet."
Right.
I had to rub him a little. And so I get on the walkie-talkie.
Was the bar cut on or off? Back to that thing.
Just hear this. I have to take my scissors out and cut his pants off, because you got to get to the wound where it is and find what it is. And there's so much shit, and I'm like trying to pack it with gauze and all this stuff. And then I'm like, "Fuck, he's got a stick coming through his ball sack."
Right.
Like a stick is just, all I see is like a stick out of the snow. I can't see underneath, because he's like, what he's done, he's skidded down into the woods, and it's basically come up through and just gone right through his pants, through his ball sack. And I'm looking at it, and I go, "Oh, fuck." So I have to call the headquarters to tell them. So I get on the walkie-talkie, and I go, "This is Eddie. I'm on Goosebumps. I've got a patient." You're not allowed to call him a victim. I go, "I got a patient. It needs assistance." And they go, "What's the code?" And first they go, "What are you doing on Goosebumps?" And I'm like, they go, "What's the code?" And you have code brown, blue, green, white. I forget them all. One brings an ambulance. One brings a toboggan, skier's toboggan. One brings a snowmobile with the toboggan. One brings life flight. And so they're like, what's the code, Eddie?" And I'm looking at it, and it's he's just gushing blood. And they're like, what's the code? And I'm so fucking nervous. I just go, bring everything you got. And turns out they got there. They were there in like seconds, and guys just pushed me away because I wasn't like qualified enough to be there.
You weren't doing well.
Yeah.
They pushed me away. I had to help them, but
You were staying off holding your little scissors.
no, listen to this. They scooped all the snow out, and they had to cut the stick because you can't pull it out. That's how people bleed to death.
Sure.
That's like what happened with like the crocodile hunter and stuff. You don't pull it out. So they cut the stick, put him on a backboard sideways, which you never do, but they had to because the stick was going through. Turns out the stick was going not just through his scrotum, but through his rectum also. And they just backboard him. They life flighted him. He lost so much blood, and he was just gone on a flight. And I was like,
Do you know how he was in the end?
what's that? No, you're not allowed to find out. We had a guy like lose his face one day, and I couldn't find out anything.
This is a very substantially smaller joke, but it's in the comedy community, so I think I'll tell it. Not joke, story. Nick Wilty, you know Nick Wilty?
Yeah, and I know what you're gonna. I know the story, but tell it. Nick's a British comic.
He's an old school sort of comic, good guy. You know, he's gigging comic type of thing, right? And Nick was at the Glastonbury Festival, which is the biggest music festival in Europe, which is a big music festival. So you set up a tent, you're there for 3 days. And he was squatting down. You know when you get the tent poles that go over the top and you arch 2 poles?
Yeah.
And he was trying to get it locked into the thing, and he let go, and the end of the tent pole pierced through his cock and scrotum.
I've seen a picture.
Yeah. And he had to be helicoptered off.
Went through his cock.
Went through his cock. Boom. Like pierced through it, went on either side. And his girlfriend was there, and they had to pull this tent pole out of his cock. He gets airlifted off to the hospital, whereupon they ask his girlfriend if, were you two getting along? Has there been any problems? Like they thought that she, they thought that she like stabbed his cock in the fucking middle of the night. Anyway, he's back that afternoon to do his gig. What a trooper. Showing photos to everyone of his impaled cock.
Did a bit about it.
Jeez. First time I met him, I hadn't met him for 10 seconds. He goes, want to see a picture of my cock? And just shows it to me. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
I think that was the weekend. He'd known that woman for 2 days or something, and he was engaged to her 3 days later or something. Because that's got to be love.
We've been through it all.
Yeah. Anyone who
and how are you going to explain a giant scar on your cock after that?
It's going to be tough.
You're going to have to show the picture.
Yeah. You got to tell the whole story.
Yeah, you got to go. You ever been camping?
Yeah. Like, let me ask you this: how would you put a tent together? Let's say if you can't get the last pole in.
But ever since then, now when I'm putting it, I stand off to the side.
Me too.
Yeah, I haven't been camping, but yeah.
I used to squat and do it like that. I stand off to the side. I would rather go up through my fucking neck.
This story just saved lives. Is what this story did. You when you're telling a story, you don't know how, if it's going to reach people or how it's going to affect them. But that probably everybody will stand to the side now.
Yeah, if he didn't show the picture constantly on his phone to everyone, I would never repeat the story because it's not my place to tell it because it's a personal thing between a man and his tent. But since he'll show you the photo as soon as you ask.
I don't know if I told this story on the show, but do you remember when my balls turned black and blue?
I remember when I hadn't sucked you off for a while.
Right? And it was like,
I remember when we were fighting.
Somebody's crabby.
I remember when we were fighting, we weren't as sexual as we have been. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, it was really mean.
Yeah. And that's your whole story?
No, I was I was skateboarding up our alley.
Oh, yeah, I remember this, yeah.
I was skateboarding, and I was carrying my wetsuit for one, so I was going to my car to go surf somewhere, and I'm carrying all the shit, and I was going really fast, and I was thinking in my head, I'm getting really good at skateboarding again. And just as I thought that, I was seriously like going through the air, and I landed, and I thought when I hit, I broke my pelvic bone and my hip or something. Like I was sure it was broken. I came back here, and I wanted to cry. I sat on the couch just like, I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm such an idiot. And I'm like, I got to go to the hospital now. I broke something. But I sat around for a while, and I'm like, maybe it's not broken. And I had an audition later that day. I went to it, and then I'm like, all right, I'll be okay. And I think I even went to the gym a couple times, and then I go off to, what's the club? Our favorite, Stanford's.
Stanford and Sons.
I go to Stanford and Sons. I'm at the club. I wake up one day, and I woke up the next day expecting to be like completely bruised on my hip and my side, and it was so painful. And I was expecting all this. Nothing. I wake up the next day with like a hard on, and halfway up my cock and all my balls completely purple, like black and blue purple, like when you see somebody get punched in the eye. And I'm like, I've never had a disease like this before. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Maybe it was like magic. Maybe it was like the movie Big, and you were just becoming black really slowly.
It wouldn't be black. It would be more like pygmy.
You were like the 1980s film Soul Man.
So I went and showed Craig Glazer. I'm like, have you ever seen anything like this?
You did. That's not the guy to show you infected.
How long ago was this?
Like a year ago.
So this is something you could have Googled. Like, did you type in, my balls are suddenly really purple?
I got a fungal disease of a wetsuit he made me wear, where I have a scar on my cock where they had to graft it off with a scalpel.
It wasn't my wetsuit. He rented it.
Yeah, and I was going to wear underwear underneath, and he told me, "You're a fag wearing underwear under a wetsuit." No one wears. He goes, "They sterilize these things." I got this fungal penis infection that wasn't even an STD, which I had to go back for several treatments where they injected and just scraped the side of my cock until it was level. It was fucking horrific.
Oh my God.
What part did they inject?
My penis.
What did you have to look away? I don't think I would have any other fear besides the needle coming towards my
nurse
penis.
standing there and everything. No. Me and my penis. I've had fucking surgeries on that cunt for. I had a skin cancer on the fucking thing years ago. Right? Never had an STD on the fucking thing, but it's had about 4 surgeries cut into it.
It's almost like you'd rather have an STD because that involves sex.
I have scars on my penis I can't even explain to women because they just sound like I've made it up. It sounds like I'm making the story up.
The wetsuit one, and then
I'm just there going, my mate made me wear a wetsuit, and then I got a fungal disease that no one ever heard of.
And they tried to tan it off and got skin cancer on it.
Skin cancer. Like, and that one was an ingrown hair.
Your cock looks like it's been through prison.
It really, my cock, it's got like weird scar, and I think it's smaller because of all the surgeries. Because each time they cut a little bit away and they have to stitch it up, my cock's shrinking. I used to have a
scar
bigger
tissue
cock.
will make it bigger.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Where have you got that information? Scar tissue.
I would just imagine scar tissue raises something.
No, it doesn't stretch right. It's a fucking. My cock looks like Freddy Krueger. It's horrible.
No one invented scar tissue on the penis is the Germans. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, the Jones.
Is that true?
Germans,
Jason?
They did a lot of testing.
It was the same guy who made the Volkswagen. It was the same
I thought it was
day.
the Jews that invented scarring the penis.
No, they're the ones.
Circumcision.
They're the ones that
They invented circumcision.
Jason,
Just from the law of Moses.
you know we don't.
Circumcision.
You know we won't be having any Jew jokes in here.
Yeah, stop making Jewish jokes,
That's a
Jason.
fact.
Jason,
No.
stop making Jewish jokes.
Unless I can find a good one.
We all work in Hollywood, and you're trying to fuck us over by making Jewish jokes. Would you stop it? We know you know the guy that made Pringles.
What's the Jewish version of foreplay?
What?
Half an hour of begging.
Are you Jewish?
That
Jason?
one.
That's begging for sex, not food.
Oh,
I can't do some of these. These are awful.
yeah.
Why do Jews have
No,
big noses?
stop.
Okay, well this one's nice. What's a Jewish dilemma?
What?
Free ham.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Company so much. For the people who are listening right now, have you got anything you want to plug, mate?
I guess just go to johnheffron.com, heffron.com, and get you to anything social. Gets you to my Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing when people plug. Just give your name and they have to find you on Google. And one thing we need people to do, comment on iTunes. Go to iTunes and make comments, good comments. If you're going to call and call us cunts, it's not funny. It doesn't help
Why
us.
do they want to comment on
Because
iTunes?
comments on iTunes help us.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. And so please, you comment a lot on the Facebook page. We appreciate it. We like it. They're funny. We write back a lot. But if you can comment on iTunes, it really helps. Jim, your brother commented again. Scott commented, and he mentioned that he likes the Adam Carolla show. Almost as much as he likes our show.
On what did he do that on the Australian
I think
one?
he did it on Twitter.
Yeah. He won't be happy.
But also, we're looking for more interns, and you can email internroy@gmail.com. That's internroy@gmail.com. If you want to be our intern, we have porn stars here, so if you're a fucking filth bag and you want to hang out, this is a good place. And we don't work you that hard, do we, Roy? No, it's an easy fucking job.
Oh, I thought I think you should do that. Any intern you get, you should call Roy. Like that's like part of the thing. Like you become intern
Well, it's not
Roy.
even his name. We just call him by the
That's what I mean. You should just give them. You just become intern.
It comes with a costume.
It's
or
kind of like
uniform
Menudo.
and
You
a
can
badge?
just swap them out. if you do it like that.
And they're Latino. We prefer Mexicans. We prefer Mexican employees just so we can be in sync. And so give us a call, 310-853-3879, 310-853-3879. Leave your comments, whatever. If you want to ask us questions. And you can find us, again, always at JimandEddieTalkShit.com. Thank you guys for listening. Do everything. Donate, buy T-shirts. We're looking for new T-shirt designs. You want to make a design, we're going to put it on a shirt. The guys at FineSouthernGentlemen.com make our shirts. They do a really good job. So if you want to make a shirt with Jason Hour on it, just send it to us at what's our email?
JimandEddie@yahoo.com.
I just had a great idea about that. You should just
the word and not the symbol.
Schrodinger version of me, like dead.
You always want everything.
You want everything to be about you.
You just said Jason Hour. I'm just adding. You gave me the idea.
Just let go of your ego, Jason. We got to go.
Good night, everyone.
Talking shit.